All right, let's jump right in, because this past weekend something huge just happened. The entire global map for tech and for investment, it was completely redrawn. So today, we are going to unpack this absolutely seismic shift in the world of AI, a shift that, believe me, changes everything.
Wow. I mean, this quote really says it all, doesn't it? This isn't just some random headline. No, this is a declaration of a brand new reality. You know that idea of a single global AI network? The one we've all kind of taken for granted? Well, as of this weekend, it's officially over. We're talking about the beginning of a whole new technological world order.
And with this new reality comes a tidal wave of money. We're looking at a staggering $600 billion. That's the price tag on what's being called the sovereign AI boom. It's a massive amount of capital that's now being scrambled together as every nation on Earth tries to figure out how to survive in this new, divided world.
And here's the absolute kicker, the thing you really need to get. The whole investment game has been turned on its head. For the last 10 years, all the value, all the hype, it was in the brains, right? The smartest algorithm, the fastest chip. Well, that's over. The scales have completely tipped. The real opportunity, the real money, has shifted from that invisible code to the very real, very tangible, physical stuff that actually makes AI run.
So, let's get our heads around this central idea. People are calling it the Silicon Curtain. Think of it like a new Iron Curtain, but for technology. What happened is that the United States basically weaponized its control over AI cloud computing. They flipped a switch, and that means cutting off other countries from the massive server farms they need to train and run their own AI. The result? Every other nation is now being forced to go it alone and build their own from scratch.
And the world's response to the Silicon Curtain, it's something called sovereign AI. And you've got to picture this as a massive, frantic global race. Suddenly, nations everywhere are scrambling to build their own independent AI infrastructure. We're talking data centers, power grids, the whole shebang, all of it built inside their own borders. The goal is super simple. Never, ever again be dependent on another country for a technology this critical.
Okay, so how on earth did this all go down so incredibly fast? Let's walk through the chain of events that kicked this whole thing off.
The thing that is just mind-blowing here is the speed. I mean, this all happened in a single chaotic weekend. Think about it. Friday, January 17th, the US drops the bomb, the AI cloud blockade. By Saturday, the very next day, the Middle East and Europe fire right back, declaring they're going all in on sovereign AI. And then by Monday morning, the markets weighed in and delivered their verdict.
And that verdict was crystal clear. There were big losers and even bigger winners. Who lost? Any company whose stock price was built on the idea of a single, interconnected global tech world. They got hammered. And the winners? Oh, the winners were the local guys. The companies that build the actual physical infrastructure, the data centers, the power grids, their stocks went through the roof. The market sent a very loud message. Being dependent is now a huge liability. So that massive market reaction, it leads us straight to the heart of this whole thing, what some are calling the new infrastructure supercycle, a huge physical construction boom that's kicking off all over the world.
The best way to think about this is like a new gold rush. But here's the twist. Instead of betting on which prospector is going to strike gold, which company is going to build the smartest AI, the smart money is going somewhere else entirely. It's betting on the companies selling the shovels and the picks, the essential tools that every single prospector needs to even have a chance.
So what are these modern-day shovels and picks? Well, for starters, power plants. Tons of them. The amount of electricity AI needs is just insane. Training one big model can use as much power as a small city. Then you need the actual data centers, these huge, secure buildings to house all the servers. And of course, you need incredibly powerful cooling systems to stop the whole thing from melting down. And here's the most important part. All of this now has to be built within a country's own borders.
And this chart just shows you everything. It's a perfect picture of where the money is going. Before this whole blockade thing, you can see all the investment was chasing AI software and fancy new chips. But now, just look at that shift. The capital is absolutely flooding into physical infrastructure and, just as important, the energy grids needed to actually power it all. It's a total 180 in investment priorities.
Okay, so this is obviously a massive and pretty complex shift. So how can we break it down and make sense of it? Well, there's a really simple but powerful framework that helps explain all the forces at play.
It's called the PPP framework. Easy to remember. The first P is for politics.
Suddenly, national security is the #1 driver. Controlling your own AI is seen as just as vital as having a strong military. The second P is for performance. The companies that actually build this stuff, their order books are exploding. The demand is just off the charts. And the third P is for protectionism. Governments are throwing unbelievable amounts of money, massive subsidies at their own domestic companies to build this stuff and build it fast. You put those 3 Ps together, and you've got a perfect storm for this entire sector.
And when you use that PPP framework, you can start to see exactly where the specific opportunities are popping up. This table gives you just a couple of examples. You look at the Middle East, and their big focus is on engineering and energy. They need the power for their huge AI ambitions. Then you look over at Southeast Asia, and for them, it's all about the fundamental construction, the physical backbone, building the actual data centers and laying the fiber optic cables.
All right, we have covered a ton of ground. So let's boil this all down. What's the final takeaway?
Here's what you really need to remember. 1. The era of global AI is done. Finished. The Silicon Curtain has fallen. 2. The big money, the big opportunity isn't in AI models anymore. It's in the physical infrastructure needed to run them. 3. This has kicked off a massive global infrastructure supercycle. And finally, 4. That PPP framework, politics, performance, and protectionism, that's your key to understanding exactly what's driving this whole new world.
So I'll leave you with this one final thought. As this new Silicon Curtain rises and these digital walls get higher and higher, who's the real winner in the end? Is it the nation that builds the smartest, most advanced AI? Or is it the one that simply controls the power switch? That's the question we all need to think about.